So one of the other things we talked about on the podcast here, and this is, I think, a few podcasts ago, was we were envisioning, we were complimenting the strong season so far of Lorena and West, and just imagining, those two playing each other. We just looked it up. It would not be until the state semifinals. West is in Region 1 and Lorena is in Region 2.
Yep.
So, it would be a while before that matchup could happen, if it does even happen. But what are some other, local matchups that you would not mind seeing out there?
Let's correct that, by the way. I just realized this. The regions they don't go 8 districts per region. They go 4 districts per region. So they would not play until the state semifinals, now that I take another look at it. You follow me on that?
Do you mean the state final?
Yeah, the state final. They wouldn't play until the state final, because actually West is Region 2 and Lorena is Region 3.
Right. Okay.
A little bit of a correction on the fly there.
Well, and it's forgivable on our parts, just because
for so long. Yeah.
Well, football is the one sport where it's different. I mean, everything else is 8 districts per region. So
right. But yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and we saw it last year in that we saw Crawford and Bosqueville meet in the regional final. I don't know that I see that matchup happening again this year, but Bosqueville's gaining momentum. Now, it's kind of funny. We write these things, and I particularly write my column, Saturday for Sunday, and you want to be bold, you want to write things that people, see and pay attention to. But sometimes, you can maybe, I don't want to say get yourself in trouble, but I'm out there on the field last Friday night talking to Kevin Hoffman. And I'm asking him, they won the game at Italy. And so they had a bye week, and then they played Chilton the week after that on October 8th. And I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I'd written, can the Chilton-Pirates board Mart's ship? And Coach Hoffman said, yeah, Chris called me right after that came out and said, man, I did not tell him to write that. I didn't. I said, look, I said in the first quote from him that he was laughing about even the idea that you guys were worried about him. He was like, I know. And Coach Hoffman looked at me and he goes, I read it now. And so I'm sitting there going, I mean, it was completely complimentary to Mart and saying that they probably didn't have anything to worry about. But Coach Hoffman made a good point. They don't get a lot of bulletin board material thrown their way, so they got to use what they get.
Absolutely. When you're the Mart-Panthers, first of all, it's hard enough just scrapping together a schedule, because so many teams don't even want to play them. But yeah, I agree. Not a lot of people talk smack in Mart's direction. And you've already acknowledged here that Chilton was not doing that wisely, but can Chilton make it a game? I mean, I think it'll be one to watch, I mean, I think both you and I would pick Mart, and that's probably the safe, smart pick, but weird things happen. So, I mean, I guess that's your answer to the question is Mart. I mean, Chilton.
They could see each other again in the regional final. I really think they could. Chilton looks stronger every week. They've got a couple of kids, Braylon Fisher and Jamarian Benjamin, that they're making an impact for them, along with a lot of returning guys from last year's team. So, yeah, I mean, watching Italy play the other night, knowing that they had beaten Italy by a point, and Mart beat them worse, but Italy has, pretty good looking team for a Class 2A outfit.
Yeah.
So what's yours?
Well, okay, I have maybe because it was my thought, my question, I have 4 in mind.
That's fine.
Okay. 2 that won't happen, 1 that could happen, and 1 that will happen. So,
okay.
the two that won't happen. I mean, how could we not want to see Lavega and China Spring play? You know.
Oh, right.
I mean,
then they can't because they're not in the same division.
Correct. Lavega's 4A Division One, and China Springs 4A Division Two. Both of them look like, I mean, I don't know if you'd say vintage Lavega and China Spring teams, but certainly China Spring does. And Lavega, you know, looks like Lavega. I mean, you know, they played Argyle right down to the wire. They go win, you know, on the road in, you know, in a hostile environment last week at Corpus Christi Miller. You know, Lavega is going to be Lavega, and they're going to be, you know, a team to watch. So that would be a fun one. We always like seeing those two teams play. They did play. It just happened to be in August when nobody really cared. It was a scrimmage. So, but you know, another one, we just were talking about this team, Mart. I'd love to see him play Crawford. But again, 2A Division One, 2A Division Two, you know, and I mean, I think that's a matchup I would love to see more often in non-district play. I think Kevin Hoffman would welcome it. I'm not sure Greg Jacobs would, but you know, again, that's sort of the story of Mart. I mean, not a lot of teams want to play Mart in football. And then, you know, another
one that will happen. This is the one I'm curious about, the one you think will happen.
Well, okay. This is the one that could happen, and then I'll get to the one that will happen, and you'll understand. The one that could happen, going down to the 6-man ranks, I'd like to see Abbott and Jonesborough play, and I think we may have talked about that potential matchup, you know, before. But you know, again, both teams are 5-0. Both teams are clicking along. They're looking like teams that, you know, should stick around a while in the 6-man playoffs. And I think it'd be fun to see them play in the playoffs. So that's one that I hope does happen. You know, that'd be fun to play. Where would they play that, you think? Maybe Whitney?
Oglesby. They could play at Live Oak Stadium. Come, you know,
yeah,
all the moms could go to the Magnolia silos and then come over to the game.
Well played. I like it. That'd be great. I'd love to see that one downtown Waco. I was thinking Whitney maybe is where they'd play that. I don't know, but
it'd be a big advantage for Abbott.
Yeah, it's not that far, but I mean, I'm thinking sort of, you know, meet in the middle. And then the one that will happen, and it happened twice last year, but it'll happen in district play in a few weeks, is Live Oak and Vanguard. You know, and I feel like, so Live Oak handled them pretty well 2 times last year. And maybe it'll be the same case, but Vanguard is really, really playing well. And they've got a kid, Walker Nall, who already has what, 1,200 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and no interceptions. I mean, that's kind of bananas numbers, like video game stuff. I realize it's 6-man football, but he's got more than double anybody in our area in terms of passing numbers. So they really fling it around. And I mean, you know, I'll be interested to see how that one plays out.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to point out that Bryce is going 6-man heavy on us there. You know,
I had
brought up 2 6-man matchups.
I had 1 4A game, 1 2A game, 2 6-man games. So
right, half of your games were 6-man. It reminds me of our picks box.
Yeah, I like the little guys. You know, we got to give them.
I know. You're the 6-man champion.
Okay, I'll take it.
You should have taken over for Granger Huntress.
I've written 2 stories with the headline "The Joy of 6." So, The Joy of 6 and The Joy of 6-2.
You better quit while we're ahead on that.
Okay.